Moral science is an important subject as it contains moral stories which are helpful in teaching life lessons to children.
Moral values are essential part of our life. Without it, a person, however successful, might be resentment.
No art or science can be mastered by mere intelligence without moral discipline.
Children, here is a God who comes to you before you ever think of Him, as a gentle breeze to console you, softly and gently, like a cool wind. Children, do you believe in God? Yes, we believe in God. We believe in divine providence. Divine means Almighty God, the creator of the whole world. Providence means the care, the protection of God. And the divine providence is the sovereignty, the superintendence, or the agency of God over events of people's life or throughout the history. How should we live upon this earth is all decided by Almighty. With His permission only, everything happens in the world. How to cope up with life when life doesn't make any sense? I say, leave everything on God. Have faith in Him, and everything will be done for you. You too have realized the presence of God. Let's remember, there might be some events when you became the blessing for others. If we became the blessing for others, that is also with the permission of God. Now let's start a story which will give the proof of the presence of God. There was a small boy, Tony. His mother was a tailor who used to stitch his clothes. She worked hard to send Tony to school, but now she had become bedridden. In spite of many difficulties, she did not show any tension or worry to his son Tony. Whenever there was any kind of scarcity, she used to say only one thing: God will provide. She believed in divine providence and had a glow of new hope in her eyes. She used to work hard throughout her life without taking rest, which made her sick, and she started suffering with the problem of slip disc. For that, she had to be in traction for 6 months. But she used to say, not to worry, God will provide. This shows that she had a deep faith in God. Tony had no money to pay his school fees, but his friend Manu's father paid his fees because he believed that it was God who inspired him to pay his fees. This incident gave life to his mother's words that God will provide, because his mother used to say, whatever is impossible for man is possible for God. For this God's providence, he lost in thought to give something to God in return. Children, you believe in God. So just remember some of the events, some of the happenings when God had helped you. Okay? Moral stories are inspiring stories. Tony's mother used to narrate moral stories to Tony. Because of those moral stories, Tony started believing in God, and those stories inspired him a lot. Let's have a story. There was a poor man who lived near the bank of the river with his son. He was a man of good character, wise, and had a deep faith in God and always ready to help others. What was his work? If some animals or goods drowned in the river, he used to swim and get those belongings. And afterwards, when the owner of those belongings come to take those things, he entrusted them back. Sometimes his son asked him that why didn't they keep those belongings to themselves, because his father drowned in the river and brought those things. So why didn't they keep those things with them? Then his father used to say that those belongings are not there. And if they try to keep those belongings with them, then they could not be there ever. He also used to say that God will provide for our needs. We should not keep others' things as ours. Once rainy season, a little lamb was drowning in the river. Poor man saved the lamb's life and brought it to his house. The son asked that if nobody come in search of that lamb, then they would kill it and prepare soup of it, because it was a severe cold then. But his father replied that whether they would die of severe cold, but he will never kill the lamb for them, because that lamb is not theirs. He continued to say that God will provide, not to worry. It was raining heavily and nobody was out. It was dusk. Dusk means evening time. A man came to poor man's hut and told him that he was on a long voyage. Voyage means a journey by ship. But on the way, his ship met an accident and was about to sink, and nothing could be done due to downpour. He told him if all the goods from the ship were thrown in the river, then he could save himself. But he could not throw the things in the sea, because he felt that somebody urged him not to do so. Then he saw a little light of poor man's house. He removed everything from his ship and brought to the poor man and asked him to keep all these things with him. The poor man agreed and said that when you come back, I will entrust all those belongings to him. But the man said, no, he will never be on this way again. So he can keep all those goods with him. And then the stranger went on his way. And the poor man folded his hands in gratitude before the generous, kind stranger and in front of God, and said, God provides. And the son became very happy and enthusiastically said, Father, that is the way God provides? Father said, yes, through any medium God provides us. Because of those supplies, they had enough material to survive for several months. Then, do you like the story of the poor man and his son? What would you have done if you were in place of him? I am sure you would have done the same thing what the poor man had done. Didn't you? Tony's mother cleared Tony that there are many small and big things that God do for us through many people. She said Manu's father, who was inspired by the God to help you to pay the fees of your school, when he came to deposit his daughter's fees through his fellow men, God helps his people. He is very sensitive to our needs. Mother's moral story inspired him a lot. The event that happened inspired him a lot, and he also started believing in God and having faith in God, that God always provide.
So, because of moral stories and deep faith in God, Tony developed a positive thinking towards God and thought to be a good person in his life, and said that he will also help others and do his best to educate poor students, and for that he will study well too. And with confidence, his mother blessed him. Now let's have some quotes given in the story. The mountain of the Lord, it will be provided. Means if we believe God, then everything will be provided to us by the Almighty. According to Saint Chavra, days on which you have not rendered any good to others will not be reckoned in the book of your life. Means we should do at least one good thing to others. Then we will be recognized in the book of our life. According to Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, the former President of India, God, our Creator, has stored within our minds and personalities great potential, strength, and ability. Prayers help us to tap and develop these powers. It means that God has stored within our mind and personalities great potential, strength, and ability. And only through the power of prayer we can develop these potential, strength, and ability in us. At last, write a short prayer to thank God for His providence.
Thank you.